2025 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Morocco just concluded, with Senegal taking the trophy and the Super Eagles securing a hard-fought bronze medal. Now, from the moments of thunderous cheers to the high-stakes tension in the minds of players, coaches and supporters, AFCON was more than just a tournament, as players displayed their passion, precision and performance. Now, today on The Correspondents, we are stepping into the mind of someone who lived and breathed every second of the action. So you just stay tuned and we'll get you there. Hello and thanks for joining us on The Correspondents today. I am Zenret Dingmun. Now let's begin with a review. For nearly 1 month, 24 African national teams showcased their football artistries in designated world-class stadiums in Morocco. Now, the tournament eventually ended with Senegal beating the hosts, Morocco, to lift the coveted continental trophy. Now, Austin Edemodu brings us the major highlights of the football fiesta, which was not short of drama, controversy, and of course, entertainment.
Final whistle and Senegal seal the sensational success.
The 35th edition of the African Cup of Nations has come to a dramatic end, wrapping up nearly 1 month of football, glamour, entertainment and controversy in Morocco. The tournament's chaotic final between hosts Morocco and eventual champions Senegal has left an indelible mark on the history of African football. What was meant to be a celebration of the game turned dramatic following perceived refereeing errors that sparked protests from the Senegalese camp, leading to an unprecedented stoppage of play that lasted almost 20 minutes. Morocco missed a crucial penalty in regulation time before Senegal's Pape Gueye struck the decisive goal in extra time, sealing a hard-fought victory and handing the Teranga Lions their second African title in one of the most bizarre finals the competition has ever witnessed.
It's just football. I think the referee sometimes can do mistake, but it can also be just, can also say what is, we don't know. We're just in the game, so people will judge this, but I think it could be penalty or no, but that's not more important. The more important is about the people who watching the world watching this football, and the world, it's not fair to stop the game like this. So I think it was really, really important to play this game, even though we could have won or we could have lost, and it doesn't matter, but the football should be.
Despite the controversies, the 2025 AFCON produced remarkable milestones. A total of 121 goals were scored across 52 matches, the highest in the tournament's history, while fan attendance produced an impressive 1.3 million, underscoring Africans' growing passion for the beautiful game.
We have to improve all the time, become better, more competitive. And we have to listen to our sponsors. And of course, we've got to listen to our fans. And we also have to listen to the media. So I'm excited. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done.
Nigeria's Super Eagles also enjoyed a memorable campaign under head coach Eric Chelle, clinching a record 9th AFCON bronze title. The Eagles emerged as the tournament's highest goal scorers with 14 goals, went unbeaten throughout the competition, and saw Victor Osimhen finish as the second highest goal scorer. Overall, the 2025 African Cup of Nations has been widely praised for its world-class infrastructure and facilities. However, concerns remain over logistics, accommodation, ticketing, and standard of officiating. As the curtain falls, attention now shifts to East Africa, with Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania set to jointly host the 2027 edition, as Africa hopes for an even better celebration of its biggest football showpiece.
And joining us now, we have one of our eyes on the sports beat and the face of our AFCON studio discussions, NTA's very own sports correspondent. And we call him the majestic Bade Adeleye, here to give us insights on the correspondence. It's good to finally have you on the correspondence, Bade.
Thank you for having me, Zaret, and it's good to be back.
All right. Now, you've covered many events and tournaments like this, but tell us about the recent AFCON. What was it like anchoring studio discussions? Share your experiences and some of the intense moments for you.
Right, it was quite interesting. And of course, just like, our studio was a partnership with NTA's, top partner talking about Afro sports, and of course with other bond member stations. And that only meant something, that the best of the best had to assemble to deliver the best for Nigerians, especially, the lovers of football. So we had the best, of presenters from across the country, the best of analysts, the best of directors, the best of, producers, and of course the engineers. So content creators, everyone, we came together. So, and when you know that when all the, talented people from all these aspects, when they come together, you brainstorm, you do all those things, and you just have to deliver your best. So it was really interesting. And of course, you get to meet ex-internationals, relate with them. They share, their experiences. They will tell you everything. And of course, how it's been now, for them since they retired. And of course, what they plan to do. Then you get to, get the inside story of everything. Because, just you sitting with a player, an ex-player, that during his time at the AFCON, he was sent out of camp. And you get to ask him the real story. And of course, how do you handle this situation that is in camp now? Because there's a bit of controversy and all that. That, that was really insightful. And of course, coming with the shows, we had highlight shows. We had, a show to connect with the fans every afternoon. And of course, in the evenings, we came, with live studios, and of course there were interesting discussions from the analysis there. You have to know everything about the players, the team, the stadium, the culture, the fan support, everything about it, the referee, the commentator, and of course everything. You will have been following them, when it comes to their training and all that. So it brings out, the best in you. For us, from NTA, I want to say, what they will always tell you is that if you work in NTA, you can work anywhere. And that's on the positive light because, you feel like this is what you do on a daily in NTA. So if you're somewhere else, if they are trying to say, hope you can survive without this, you're like, wait. So just imagine you not having maybe your teleprompter fails. So to somebody who doesn't work in NTA might find it difficult, but in NTA you're trained to work with or without it so that you're fine.
You have a strong foundation.
So that really helped. So it was interesting with the analysis, with everything that came on board and monitoring those matches. They were at 50, and of course, you have to know everything about it, the statistics, the red cards, the yellow cards, the number of goals scored, number of goals conceded. And of course, the referee for that particular encounter, everything he did, everything will have to be retained in your brain. It's all, like I said, we've been used to this over the years, and it was quite interesting. And I must commend NTA management. It was beautiful to see them partner, with all their partners, because that was beautiful. NTA will always try to deliver the best of sports content to, our team viewers. And of course, that was what they did, going out of the way, stopping programs and all that to, to show those matches for, nothing. So it's just like the love for it. So it was an interesting experience there.
Okay, so Bade, give me one moment that stood out for you during all of these matches.
Should I just, it was interesting all through, but I would say, for me, I would see some positive, I would say the highlight was when maybe many people felt things were down, maybe you couldn't you couldn't move forward, maybe this field or that field, can we still work with this? I would be like, no, I could remember my boss saying, can he just continue with this? And they said, no, don't worry, it's small thing for him, he's going to handle it. And they were like, wow, that was it for me on a personal journey. And of course, when it comes to, a country like Nigeria, well, we know that nobody gave it to us,
We worked for it.
You understand?
Okay.
So,
now coming to that, now Nigeria finished with a bronze medal, and looking at the Super Eagles' journey so far, and you have already started to mention some of it, do you think that we actually achieved our potential, what we set to achieve, or was there a missed opportunity there for something better for the Super Eagles and Nigeria, of course?
all right, Zanret, I will answer you this way. Going into AFCON 2025, nobody gave it to Nigeria to win it. That's the fact. But was there an opportunity to win it? Yes. Could we have won it? Yes. So it's in two parts. Now, going into AFCON, it's, we were coming from the heartbreak of not making it to the World Cup, and it's going to be, back-to-back misses. And nobody wanted it for a football-playing nation like Nigeria. So people already gave up on the Super Eagles. They just said, just go and do whatever you do, because you can't have countries like Cote d'Ivoire, are trying to retain it. Host Morocco, that many felt if they met Nigeria, it was going to end like 5-0. Or, having countries like, the North Africans that they thought that, when it comes to football now, they are doing well. So, and Senegal, the eventual champions. So nobody put Nigeria in the top 5 going into the tournament. But Nigeria became everyone's favorite team. Up to now, Nigeria gave everybody entertainment, played good football, and of course the stars, they showed up. They fought for the badge and everything. But was there an opportunity? Yes. Can we learn from it? Yes. This is the second time running that we're missing out of getting something big while facing the host. We have to know now that we have to play emotionally, everything. We have to know that the referee could be the 12th man supporting the home team without even knowing. You can't, so all those things, home advantage, the fans could be the 12th man there on the pitch for the team you're playing. Now so be ready that everything could go against you. Okay. So that's another lesson.
Okay, so this brings me to my next question. Turning focus on the winners as Senegal, give us your perspective on what you think they did differently, that maybe Nigeria and the rest of the continent could learn from.
It's very simple. Once you get it from the foundation, it's going to be easy for you building on it. You can't use a top-bottom approach. For football. If the foundation is very bad, no matter what you achieve at the top, it's just going to be for a season. If you look at Senegal, many people have been praising Morocco for what they've been doing when it comes to football. But so many people have ignored, Senegal. Senegal have been there, and there was a time that they were the champions in all categories of anything football, including beach soccer in Africa. So they have that solid foundation from the under-17 level to the under-20 level, and of course up to the national team. So it's been good for them. The only thing I can say that is not really, at the best shape for them at the moment now is women's football. So Zenret, it's their, investment in football from the grassroots, from age grade competitions, their youth setup, everything, then you cannot ignore the dedication of the players. I'm sure you cannot, people will always tell you that there are some players that they will be ready to give anything to represent their country. So I didn't hear anything from the Senegalese camp that they were fighting for bonuses or pay, or they were on strike and all that. So all these things, when you get it, and of course give it to their FA. Give it to their management team. They've been consistent. They've played together for a long time. They could struggle next time because some players are leaving and new ones are coming, but still expect a smooth transition. But consistency, strong foundation, and of course investment in sports. And evidently, when you have all these three, things will just be easy for you going forward.
Okay, so I wanted to ask what the NFF should do to implement, but I think you've basically answered that question. So let's go to your experiences generally as a sports reporter? And I'm sure it's fun, but there are also some challenging moments. So just share with us how you're able to navigate, covering sports events here and there, traveling and doing stuff.
All right, it could generally be like a challenge to, a number of people, but, just like I said earlier, not much of a challenge, for people like us. And of course, the way we've been trained is that, for instance, you could be given like a paper today telling you that this player is 26 years old. Somebody like Osimhen, the day Nigeria, played the last game, he was 26. So if it's what you've, put as a normal sports presenter, the next time you come and you want to talk about his age, you just say, Osimhen is just 26. But 2 days later, he became 27 years old. But just because you know that this guy was born on so-so date, it's been in you for a long time. And that's what, makes you different as a sports presenter. You know where the person is from. You know how the person grew up. You know all the clubs he's played for. You can even know many things about, his family and, of course, his private life. You know all these things. So you don't. So when you're talking about a player, you say it's going to be 34 next month. You're very sure about it, and you know everything. That helps you. And at times, the researchers could come, and they're 100% there. But you could now know that, okay, I could remember like talking about all those matches, even matches that happened when I wasn't born. And those who were born that time, when I was talking to them, I kept explaining to them that, remember, in the 75th minute, Owolabi scored this goal. Before the end of the match, you could remember that cross and everything. Then you'll be like, what's this guy's age? But that tells you that a lot of work went into that. So that was the way, we were trained in the NTA. Especially, that's what they always tell you, that sports is another, you just have to be really invested in it. You have to have the passion for it. Once you have the passion for it, everything you pick it, the language, the pronunciation of the names, everything is all encompassing. So it could be like a bit of challenge for people, but maybe being in a different environment, your sleeping, patterns and all those things being affected. But at the end of the day, you're built, to stand those challenges. You should come out top.
Thank you so much, Bade, for all your contributions on the correspondence today. We do hope to see you again sometime soon.
Thank you for having me, Sarah. And I do hope that, next time the Super Eagles of Nigeria will come home with a trophy.
Of course, we will pray for that.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll pause here for some messages. The program continues thereafter. Please stay tuned.
Our major currency unit is the Naira, while the minor unit is the Kobo. They are both in notes and coins. The Naira is more than just a medium of exchange. It bears the images of our heroes. So, stop abusing the Naira. It is a criminal offense to spray the Naira at events. Stop stepping on the Naira. It's not your enemy. Do not squeeze, ruffle, or write on the Naira. Handling the Naira with dirty or oily hands can deface the Naira. Love the Naira as you love yourself. Be a real Nigerian.
This message was brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Welcome back to the correspondence. Now, from the popular Ole 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 chant to the popular Stand Up for the Champions chorus, sports fans, particularly football, have always been a force, hence the title 12th Man. But with all the drama that goes on the pitch, to the somewhat chaos that happens in the stands between rival fans, are fans a necessity or sometimes a big distraction? Daniel Aderie in this special report tells us who exactly the 12th man is.
Screams, jeers, chants, but more importantly, the chorused and almost deafening shout of only a handful of places on the planet can exhume such levels of emotion, one of which is the football pitch. From Brasilia to Italia, England, Nigeria, and most recently Morocco. The presence and weight of the 12th man on the pitch cannot be overemphasized.
When a match is going on and you hear people chanting, your name, or maybe chanting the name of the team or chanting your country, and you're like, oh, my people are here. What it does is that it fuels the energy. It says, you know what, I can do this. And it encourages the players to do more than they even want to do. Why? Because they know that they have their own. There are people here backing them up.
Decked in different colours, be it for club or country, and allured with every size of flags. The fans in most cases never stop singing, shouting or stomping. But does it truly matter if at all the fans are present? Does their absence in any way impact or affect the beauty and outcome of the game?
If you want to win in a situation in a hostile environment, it has to be, we have to die here. We will die here than to lose. And that attitude was not there in the Super Eagles. So the fans play a huge role if you want to win. That's why people talk about home advantage. No matter how reduced it is, even in European football today, you can only talk about that the reduction due to quality of the opposition. The home advantage always counts.
But do the fans themselves believe that what they do in the stands affects what happens on the pitch? Or are they simply there to watch their favourite football teams?
The fans really have an influence in every match, especially a match between Nigeria and Morocco. You can see that is not the Nigerian supporters, the fans, they are not much, but despite as that, our Nigerian players, they really did their best.
Influence of the fans, they usually criticize, even the way they shout within the field of the stadium, they make the player to be weak. So my advice for the fans is that they should limit the way they criticize within the field so that they will boost the morale of the player to add more in playing their game well.
When you see like when Nwabali holds the ball, you see like a lot of chanting, woo, 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 something like that coming from the Moroccan fans. You can see when he drop his towel, they are picking the towel away from him. That's the duty, some of the part of the duty. We know it's not part of the game, but it's kind of the part of the duty of the fans. When you have large numbers of people, you'll be able to come out and support your team very well.
Now, for those of you who have been in stadiums like this one, particularly as visitors, you would relate with me when I say the shouts and chants of over 50 to even 60,000 fans can be a little scary, and sometimes can send shivers down your spines. But one thing is certain, whenever you are in such a place with that kind of ambience, it is ultimately the business that is conducted on the pitch that determines the energy that comes from the stands.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for letting us in on all we need to know about the 12th man. And with this, we wrap up the program today. Do join us again, same time next week. From all of us here, it's bye for now.